Whoa. Hey, Grand Madam, how you doing? Goodness gracious. Okay, 5:30 on the dot. I like that. I like that very much. Well, 5:30 on the 6:30 on the dot, Timing. Wherever you're at. It's right at the half hour. There we go. Hmm. Boy, oh boy. Lots and lots to talk about. Goodness gracious, we are in here. A lot of momentous things going on. A lot of shifts, shall we say the least. And I, as a dope black dad, am going to address all of it. Dope black dad. I like those. Um, hopefully, my live don't get overrun by E-Man here. I think E-Man is supposed to be doing a live here in about an hour. Let's see. Or actually he's probably an hour into his because his started at 7:30 Central Time. So yeah, he's about an hour in. Chicago's in Central Time Zone. So yeah, there's that. Hmm. I was having some trail mix and I found a blue. We live. These things are in the building. You could have been anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to be here, and I appreciate you for it. Like I was saying, Blue M&M. I do not eat blue food. Yeah, he's on Zoom. Yeah. I think it's recording. So we will probably be able to see that probably tonight or whenever he decides to post it. So yeah, I think that uh 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 Dr. Sheena is in that discussion. I really if I didn't have prior obligations, I'd be in there because she wrote the book Why Wakanda Matters. And it's a damn good read. Hold on a second. That didn't take long at all. What's wrong with blue food? Grand Madam, I imagine there's nothing wrong with blue food. I just don't eat it. And I'm pointing to myself, martial arts movie style. I don't eat blue food. Yeah. Um, just a thing, you know what I'm saying? What grows naturally that you can eat that is blue? And don't say blueberries because they're actually purple. Um, she probably about to start ripping off a whole list, huh? Why Wakanda Matters by Dr. Sheena Howard. I know it says another language because it's backwards, but this is actually a pretty good read. I recommended it all the time. She talks about things like cognitive dissonance, intergenerational dra- intergenerational trauma, um, and both social and collective identities. She really gets deep with it, and it, like I said, it's 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 a good read. You know, she even talks about things like how Wakanda forever doesn't just mean Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying? If you working at a Walmart and you're behind the counter and there's a Karen at the counter giving you a hard time, I can walk by and go, Wakanda forever. And just in that exchange, in those two words, I have identified myself to you as an ally, and I have shown that I am amenable to your current plight and am being encouraging and saying, hang on, sister, all is not lost. So, like just that for an example. So, um, and a lot of times, especially and I'm curious to see what she has to say in particular about the recast T'Challa movement in terms of cognitive dissonance, because it's nothing but cognitive dissonance if you say no one else can play that role. That's, to me, who we talk about. Who we talk about, D? We talk about this right here. Why Wakanda Matters by Dr. Sheena Howard. She is one of the speakers in E-Man's Zoom tonight. Hopefully it will be recorded and I can hear what she had to say, because in the book, like I was telling Grand Madam, she talks about things like cognitive dissonance, and cognitive dissonance seems to be a very, very, very prominent thing with the anti-recasters. Um, when information is presented to them, valid information, factual information, they still don't want to absorb it. They still don't want to receive it. They still don't want to accept it as truth. And so they start dancing around the issue and coming up with all of these other excuses. Oh, well, Chadwick Boseman died and we want to honor him by having a funeral. Okay. My mama dies. Are we going to honor my mother a year later by having another funeral? Or videotaping the funeral and showing it to you a year later? Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Where do they do that at? A book title like that is a red flag, you say, D. Diesel. Why Wakanda Matters? Okay, yeah, if you didn't read the book, yes, it is definitely a red flag. But if you read the book and understand what she's really saying, because she talks about the importance of T'Challa, a bunch of those chapters are nothing but the importance of T'Challa. Grand Madam said cognitive dissonance is the mental conditioning of this country. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Cognitive dissonance and divisiveness, uh, mad divisiveness. We are super duper divided, especially right now, you know, and that kind of that's kind of something I'm holding on to right now because I want to bring that up um when we talk about another topic. But since we're talking about Wakanda and T'Challa and all things Wakanda, if there is something else we need to mention, D Diesel. Ha! D Diesel said, I have a feeling that all those professors on that panel will be babbling about the awesomeness of a Wakanda instead of just why T'Challa should be recast. Hopefully, somebody is able to put them back on track. I mean, because I'm not hating by any stretch of the imagination, but just because you have a bunch of letters at the end of your name don't mean you know what's best for everybody. You know, Dr. Kevorkian kind of slipped. Um, yeah, it is. He said he curious to hear, they thoughts on it. Especially, I'm curious to I'm her in particular. When I saw her name, I was like, okay. I was about that close from canceling the live because I was like, I want to hear what she's got to say. But I know he's going to record it and I know he's going to chop it up and splice it, like we always do with videos. A lot of times when you get a video and that video's like 2-3 hours, you think to yourself, hey, I could get 3, 4, maybe 5 days worth of videos out of this. And that's what a lot of content providers do. So, yeah, just from this one meeting alone, E-Man could probably get about 5, 6 videos out of it, of varying lengths. But I guess more than anything else, I'm concerned about what they're saying and if if what they're saying is going to uplift the movement, is going to motivate the movement, is going to energize the movement. If it don't uplift, motivate, or energize, man, them mugs can shut up. I mean, I ain't trying to be mean or nothing, but if you ain't edifying, then you breaking down. You build or destroy, build or destroy. Are you building or are you destroying with your words? These Diesel said, got you. So the book is decent, but some of the wording is sus. Some of the wording is casual, if you ask me. But the underlying message is good. Speaking of good books to read, I did a video last night called Real Black Heroes. And one of the real black heroes I talked about was, boom, Robert Smalls. I seen somebody else, I think it was Back in the Bus. I think somebody who did a video today and they were talking about Robert Smalls. Bruh, when we gonna get a movie about that cat? That will be a dope movie. That will be an awesome movie. Are we familiar with Robert Smalls in the room? Is everybody familiar with Robert Smalls and what he did? And if you're not, that means you didn't watch my video. Shame on you. I know there's a lot of people didn't, because I dropped that the same time I dropped a recast T'Challa video. So I know automatically we're gonna gravitate to boom, recast T'Challa. But that Real Black Heroes, I talked about Harriet Tubman and I talked about Robert Smalls. And I compared them to the Black Panther and Aurora in terms of traits that they both seem to possess. Grand Madam Terrell, you said you are not familiar with Robert Smalls. Okay. Wow. Get ready for this, gal. Robert Smalls is a man who was born a slave. And I actually got so far as to talk to some of his descendants in South Carolina, because I was doing research because I wanted to write a script, because I wanted to shop a script about his life. But here's the thing. Robert Smalls, born in South Carolina. His mom was a house Negro. So by proxy, he became a house Negro. And so, he lived a nice, cushy life as a child. But as he got older, his mom went to the slave owner and said, I want him to go and work in the fields. And because I want him to truly understand the plight, number one, of our people. And number two, I want him to see a man be whipped. So he knows what that indignity is. And sure enough, the owner took him and made him work on the docks. And what ended up happening when he was working on the docks, he became a mariner and he learned about, maritime things and sailing and how to handle a boat and all of this kind of stuff. And when he was on this ship, he got the idea to get with the other slaves that were working on the ship with him, their families, and commandeer this boat and take it out of Confederate territory. Bear in mind, this is a Confederate ship in Confederate territory. And this man, a black man, sailed this ship through Confederate territory. That means he understood, because back then they used semaphore, and that means he knew how to do all of the signals to get by and not get shot. That means he was master of disguise. He made himself look like a white dude, or he covered up enough of his black to where they believed it was a white man or white men sailing this ship. He sailed it into Union territory. It got converted into a Union ship, and he fought in the Civil War in the Navy. After he got done fighting in the Civil War, he became the first Black House of Representatives member. 5 consecutive terms. That is the life of one Robert Smalls. Graham Adams said, but I wonder if he is an ancestor to a Mr. Smalls I work with from the Carolinas. You might want to check that out. I know I was talking to a guy who his last name is Mosley, and he was neighbors with some Smalls. And he said they really, they weren't really tripping on, because people have come and like the lady here who got the rights, to do this book. She said they aren't really tripping as long as it's respectful and as long as it's like kind of an honest rendition. And the first treatment I thought wasn't honest enough. So I got in the process of writing a second one and trying to make it as real and raw as I could. And I never got finished. I'm sorry. I never got finished because I started writing something else. I got so many projects that I'm juggling, man. Once I get them all in order, boy, y'all gonna see some great stuff. These Diesel said, I've heard that name before, but nothing about who he was. Well, just like Biggie say, well, if you don't know, now you know. Yeah. I was this book. It's as far, but I know there are other stories, other versions of it, because the woman who wrote this book is and not so it's not told from the perspective I think it should be told from. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be a picture of Robert Small's wife, Hannah. And she was a ride or die. She was definitely a ride or die. And then this is a picture of his daughter. Pretty. Oh, so pretty. But yeah, that is one Robert Smalls. That would make an awesome movie. I think the problem would come trying to shop that to Hollywood, because they clearly are not warm yet to the idea of ingenious, intelligent, resourceful Black men. And an intelligent, resourceful slave that outsmarted a bunch of Confederates, that's gonna make the rebel flag wavers feel some kind of way. But I think it's a story that needs to be told. It's part of that we always talking about critical race theory and all of that, and how telling the story the right way, that has to be done. Grand Madam said it would have to be an independent film. Well, if a major studio picked up 12 Years a Slave, maybe it's just the people presenting it, because I know a lot of low budget movies that deserve, big budget treatment slip between the cracks. Like I said, I saw a movie, I think it was on Amazon, that they had done about Bass Reeves, and it wasn't a very good movie. Because it was because I know there's a guy here locally that does like schlock horror films, and he throwing them all up on Amazon. He's got an inside connect or something, but he's doing stuff, similar to like Velasa Pastor and uh uh vampire vixens from Venus, and I mean all kind of just off-brand weird movies. Oh, these Diesel said whoever did that Harriet Tubman trash shouldn't touch this. Yeah. Are you talking about the Harriet movie or the Harriet series on Amazon? Because the Harriet series on Amazon is very eclectic and weird, and it's just like I was expecting a straight Harriet Tubman story, but it's like they all into some weird metaphysical stuff and just fanciful and strange. And I'm just like, are you telling the story of Harriet Tubman, or are you freestyling up in this piece? And that's kind of what Harriet Tubman's story seemed like, on Amazon. Like they would just kind of, we just go mix fantasy and reality and call it Harriet Tubman. The film, oh, with Cynthia Erivo. Mm, uh, mm, uh, it always seems to me like they can't find an actress that looks the part. Oh, Grand Madam, you said you down with fanciful and strange. Okay, well, it's free on Amazon, so feel free to dive right on in. I watched that first one and was like, okay. I thought this was gonna be, because I was looking for the straight up story, because I've seen Harriet Tubman movies, but nobody ever really tells that story the way it needs to be told. You know what I mean? Because I remember I went to like a really black school. And what I mean by that is when I was in elementary school, a lot of the teachers at my school, and I think this was a coincidence, maybe, but a lot of the teachers that people cared about, that liked the folks they wanted to be in these teachers' classes, graduated from HCBUs or HBC. HBC, that's it. HBC, Historic Black Colleges and University. Okay, one went to Howard, and one went to Morehouse, and then there was another one. I think she attended Jackson State. So yeah, they when it came to Black history, they went hard in the paint, man. And they showed like this movie about Harriet Tubman, and it talked about how she got hit in the head when she was young, and it gave her like this kind of you know concussion thing that was recurring kind of throughout her life and stuff like it was. Yeah, I mean they gave you the full money, and then like I talked about in the video, Harriet Tubman married a cat named John Tubman, a free man. Can you imagine having to share your wife? Can you imagine having to get permission to go see your husband? I can't even I can't even fathom that. These things will we say you shouldn't have to put your own personal spin on a historical figure, but that's usually how Hollywood gets down. Yeah. Well, personal spins are one thing. I'd rather it be a personal spin than a straight up steal. Okay. Um Elements of Django Unchained are drawn directly from the life of Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves apprehended over 2,000 felons. Um, and a lot of them he didn't have to kill to apprehend them. And as we know, Quentin Tarantino is like about maximum blood and maximum kill and maximum, you know what I'm saying? But Bass Reeves didn't get down like that. Then on top of that, uh, a lot of folks that Bass Reeves had to apprehend, he had to wear a mask doing it because a lot of them was like, "Oh, we ain't gonna be, you know, taken in by no N word." So, you know what I mean? Here we got the Lone Ranger, direct by the Bass Reeves. I'm like, okay, you know, and you learn these things after the fact. This is stuff they don't teach you. This is stuff they don't school you up on. These are the kind of things. This is why I tell people all the time: teach your kids at home about their heritage. Teach your kids at home what they are and who they are and how they relate and interact in society because public school, they going to give you what they want to give you anyway. So public school education should be a supplement, wink, wink, to what you done already fed them. You water the seed. You feel me? Seed don't get water. I mean, they over there with them folks more time in the day. And I think about that all the time. Teachers spend more time with your kids than you do. So you really want to make sure the information you giving your kids is crucial, important, most definitely. Okay. Um, real quick, question. Oh, what's the D Steezel? What you saying now? Agreed. And Django was the last movie involving slavery that I watched from beginning to end. Okay, madam. The problem with teaching kids at home is that the parents do not have the knowledge. Well, when I say teaching your kids at home, I'm not necessarily talking about homeschooling. Okay. We know by and large, Black history doesn't get taught effectively in most public school settings. So for me anyway, I fill in the information that the school don't tell them. And I'm like, that's for you. That's your knowledge. Okay. Because anyway, all they ever talk about anyway is Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, uh George Washington Carver, the mild people, the calm people, the people that didn't raise hell to try to achieve an end. You don't never hear nothing about no Nat Turners. You don't never hear nothing about no Ida B. Wells. You don't never hear anything about Marcus Garvey. They never teach about those Black men and women who pushed back against the system. They always teach you about the Black people who worked within the system. And I feel like teaching your kids that sometimes having to go outside of the system is something that they need to do. I'm not saying in no criminal way, but to get yours, to achieve, to do and be, a conservative view of it is, you got to have your own on your own to do well, but you need to have all the tools. You need to know who you are. I always tell people knowledge itself is important. You know who you are? A lot of people say, I know who I am, but do you really know who you are? And when I say who you are, I mean in terms, wow, this is really getting deep. When I say who you are, I mean in terms of who you are as a Black bodied person, living in a colonized society that by and large does not even cater to you. Any avenues, any benefits, any blessings that have been created for you more than likely have been created by people who look like you. I'm going to sip my water now. We is 30 minutes in and we still got two more subjects to cover. Wow, this is fun. Yay. I'm enjoying y'all. I enjoy y'all every time y'all are in here. MCU. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about the MCU? What are y'all thinking about the MCU? The movies that are coming up and what's going to be going on in a lot of these movies. How do y'all feel about that? What do y'all think about it? Thoughts. Share your thoughts with me. Remember that line from Star Trek 5? And then Tupac used it in a song called Pain. Look it up. Go Shazam that. Nothing, y'all. No thoughts, no concepts, no beliefs about where you think the MCU is going? Or more accurately, should I say, the MCU? Doctor Strange 2 looks good, D. Steezel says. Yeah, but they running the potential of pissing me off because they talk about having a T'Challa variant in Doctor Strange 2. Now, if they gonna have, oh hey, Mr. Smith, didn't know you were in here. So you're not looking forward to any of them because they have an agenda that they are pushing. That part. And that's what bothers me. Grand Madam, D. Steezel, y'all know about Love and Thunder and Bast being in Love and Thunder, right? Do you also know the main villain in Thor Love and Thunder is Gore the God Butcher? Put two and two together. I was talking about this with Marcus and Josh on Back of the Bus. If they kill Bast in Thor Love and Thunder, I'm done. I'm done with everything. If they do that, because they're showing me who they are. Grand Madam said, I am disappointed in the MCU. Not only are they killing off T'Challa, but the MCU is trying to replace the Avengers with kid Avengers. D. Steezel says he is not a fan of Patrick Stewart or any Foxmen showing up. D. Steezel, who do you think would make a better Professor X? And you're not interested in Thor. Yeah, yes, Grand Madam. Yes. I will be fit to be tied if they kill Bast in Thor Love and Thunder. That is just the ultimate insult. All that's going on in the MCU is black death, black crippling, black emasculation. Why? You know what I'm saying? Rhodey's walking on robot legs. Sam Wilson's broke as a joke. He an Avenger and can't get no love nowhere. Meanwhile, Hawkeye staying in the Ritz Carlton for Christmas or whatever. I'm an Avenger too. What the hell? T'Challa, of course, like you mentioned, they murdering him off. Monica Rambeau ain't getting the love or the respect she deserves. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? We don't even get to see Luke Cage. They just don't want no black folks. Yes, absolutely right. Mr. Smith, played by Christian Bale. Christian Bale will be Gore the God Butcher. And if he butchers Bast, oh my God. And then I also read that Russell Crowe, I think it's Russell Crowe, is gonna be portraying Zeus in Thor Love and Thunder. Now, if you're gonna have a Zeus, y'all got to give me Hercules. You have to get, how you gonna bring Zeus into the equation and not give me no Hercules? Hercules is to the Olympians what T'Challa is to the Wakandans. You can't mention Olympians and not have Hercules in there. What kind of madness is that? You know what I'm saying? Just, and that will be a great addition because since they, you know, so far they have either managed to get rid of, murder off, or move out of the focus all the OG Avengers. Think about it. The MCU doesn't understand that it can be dangerous messing around with deities, even on film. Well, they gonna learn. What do you say? Here what we got. Tony Stark, dead. Steve Rogers, I guess dead. Um, Bruce Banner, impotent. I don't know. He got a messed up arm that won't heal, so he won't be hulking anything anytime soon. I don't know. You know, how long is it gonna take that arm to heal up? I'm like, dang. Um, Hawkeye, I quit. I retire. I'm passing the mantle on. Black Widow, dead. You know, they ain't got no OG Avengers. Who's gonna reactivate the Avengers? And didn't Kevin Feige say something about there ain't gonna be any more Avengers movies in the MCU? All the more reason to not watch them no more. Diesel says the God Butcher storyline is good, but I don't like Taika Waititi's take on these characters. Yeah, because he ain't following the God Butcher storyline. Guarantee you. Guardians of the Galaxy? Where they do that at? So, yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's just for me, I grew up reading comic books. And I primarily read Marvel comics. You know, also, I read DC, fooled around with some other little, you know, comic companies on the side. But I mean, for the most part, there was Whitman, Charlton, Gold Key, all of that. But for the most part, through the 70s and 80s and into the 90s, it was Marvel DC, heavy on the Marvel, light on the DC, just, enough to know what was going on in DC. But they came out with the cinematic universe with Marvel, and I don't know, like that first phase, it was beautiful. I mean, to me, I enjoyed seeing it. I mean, a little stuff, like things like, okay, why is Tony Stark acting like that? It's like, okay, let's change his personality. Let's make him into an arrogant asshole. Tony Stark is arrogant, yeah, because he got confidence in his abilities, but he ain't arrogant to the point where he's just an ass and snarky and funky towards everybody. And then everybody ate that up, and I never really got what was so endearing about being snarky. But what would we say, Diesel? They are setting up the Young Avengers for center stage, but that's like replacing the Justice League with the Teen Titans. And you love Phase 1, Diesel. Okay. Replacing the Justice League with the Teen Titans wouldn't be so terrible a thing, because the Teen Titans, to me, are a doper team than the Justice League. Not stronger, not more powerful, just a cooler team. They were kind of like DC's version of Chris Claremont's X-Men, because they came out right around in the age there, like 1980. And they we took all the sidekicks and then we added some more folks in there, and this is the new Teen Titans, and then we introduced Deathstroke and all of this other stuff, and so it was just they were and the Greek god Parthenon. They introduced all of this stuff, with my man George Perez. Hope you're doing well. Teen Titans. Way more people were reading Teen Titans than were reading Justice League in the 80s. Um, yeah, me too. I never really even messed with Young Avengers that tough. I mean, they had the title, and I read the title, and I checked it out, and then they had a little thing going on between Wiccan and Hulkling, and it was just like this is this is a busted version of Teen Titans. It ain't even a good version of Teen Titans. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, I was just, and they, had the hardest time with diversity. Yeah, but they was better than Young Avengers, D. Diesel. They even had a comic book where the Teen Titans teamed up with the X-Men, and Dark Side resurrected um Dark Phoenix. But it seemed like that book was like rushed. There could have been way more action in that book than what was in it. It just seemed like they were there for, yay, Teen Titans and X-Men together. Yay, look at all these nice pictures. And Deathstroke taking everybody out. And it was just, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Grand Madam, the Young Avengers came out in the 90s. And so if you see, Ray, Ray Smith has said it all. Everybody in this feed said they don't like the Young Avengers or don't know who they are in the case of Grand Madam. But yeah, because it felt like they were cramming it down your throat. And it didn't feel organic. That makes sense. It was just like, oh, here we go. We're gonna force you to eat this Young Avengers. Don't like it? Too bad. Eat this Young Avengers. You know, and the dumpster fire that was comics in the 90s. Oh my goodness, there were tons of stinkers in the 90s because somebody got the grand idea and said we should make more comics, and we should make more characters in these comics, and we should make more characters and more characters and more comics and more characters. And then the only thing that was really selling in the 90s was like X-Men, um anything Wolverine, um the Hulk had a pretty good run in the 90s, uh Punisher, oh my god, he was an anti-hero in the 90s. You was in there. Okay, D. Steezer said the Titans I liked were Nightwing, Cyborg, Starfire, Superboy, and Donna Troy is all right too. Okay, hear me out here. Now, I don't know. Yeah, Peter Davis Hulk was great. Dale Keown, Dale Keown did the art, right? He also did Pit over at Image, which looked exactly like Hulk with fingernails and a grunge look. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, Nightwing all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I feel like Batman could just die and we could have Nightwing, and that would be absolutely nothing wrong with that because, in my opinion, Nightwing is a natural evolution of Batman, and in most stories, he's a better fighter. Okay, right. Okay. And Donna Troy. I like Donna Troy. Donna Troy is she's a clone of Wonder Woman, but she seems like a relatable clone of Wonder Woman. I find myself because Wonder Woman's like big three, and she's difficult to relate to on a regular level. You say you had a new baby and a husband to take care of in the 90s. Okay, I that is awesome sauce. You are indeed a ride or die. Do what you do. Um, Comics were just my thing. What can I say? Bought them, sold them. Made them do what they do. Ray Smith said, "Yeah, Peter David explained why Quicksilver was arrogant. It was because he was so fast. Everyone seemed to be going in slow motion." I never liked Quicksilver. I mean, even as far back as Cap's Kooky Quartet, his personality. Okay, you got that complex where you just like super protective of your sister, and she don't need all of that. As we saw when she came into her own, you the one need protection, Pietro. She's growing and developing. All you doing is running fast, and he was just. And I had a moment of sympathy for Quicksilver when he was married to Crystal of the Inhumans and she cheated on him. That was the only time I was like, dang, Pietro got done wrong. And then he just lost his mind and for a little while became a villain and was giving the Avengers all kind of problems and just yeah, yeah. We need a better speedster in the Marvel universe. Quicksilver ain't it. His personality is just garbage. And then, the 1610 version was in love with his sister. Literally, they was doing it nasty. Anyway, these Diesel said, I do. Hilarious. He and Magneto hated Vision for marrying their sister/daughter. Yeah, I'll say. And who does she go sleep with? She don't go sleep with no superhero. She don't go sleep with no super villain. She sleeps with a damn insurance salesman. What? You could control the elements and you hot for the Allstate guy? I I just never got that. That was just strange to me. And then they revealed that Magneto ain't really their parents, so it's like stop retconning. Ray Smith, see, Ray Smith understands. He said, I never liked him either, but I understood what he was about after that. Think about when you are driving and someone is going slow in front of you. Okay, okay. They call that road rage. And a lot of people think that's an issue. I myself, on occasion, do tend to get a little upset from time to time when I am behind the wheel. Um, is what it is. I'm just saying. I say some people deserve to have a horn leaned on behind them or beside them because some people on the road be doing stupid stuff. I think they've been trying to reel some of that back. I haven't seen much of what has been going on with him because I ain't really been checking for him. Okay, y'all. Final topic of the night. Final topic of the night. Final topic of the night. Invasion of the Ukraine. Go. I do. Y'all got something to say about that. Got to. Got to. Feed's been a buzz all day long about that mess. Oh, interesting fact. Um, there are two islands in the northernmost region of Alaska, Big Diomede and Little Diomede. One of those islands is only 53 miles from Russia. Yeah, that's pretty damn close. It don't take long to go 53 miles at all. But here's what I've been thinking about. As far as that Ukraine thing. Do we have anything to be concerned about with regards to this Ukraine invasion? Because, see, everybody in America is talking about, oh, the Ukraine is a sovereign nation and Russia has no right to go up in there and do what they're doing, blah, 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 so on and so forth. In my mind, and I'm going to be honest with you, in my mind, I literally thought the very thought, what that got to do with me? Grand Madam, oh, such language. Putin knows that NATO forces are out of sync and can't do anything to stop him. And Joe Biden ain't finna bust a grape with razor blade shoes on. So, as always is the case with these kinds of things. Oh, hey, man. Brother Ray, what you say? That is a problem that we should have seen coming after 45 did what he did to the ambassador, and now he kissed Putin's butt. Yeah, and he's still kissing Putin's butt at this very moment. He's the probably one of the few human beings in the United States who's saying they admire what Putin's doing right now. But see, he batshit crazy anyway, so I don't even listen to nothing he say no how. Graham Adams said we have an Air Force base right next door in Hungary. See, Graham Adam, here's the thing that I'm concerned about. I think it was you that had said something last week on the live about how in the world theater we look foolish because of all of this divisiveness and all of these things that are going on. Yeah, I know the U.S. signed a treaty to protect the Ukraine, but what happens when the U.S. What happens when the U.S. goes in there and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, China decides they want to get involved? Yeah, Putin has been like that for decades. That's my whole exactly. That's my whole thing. We can talk a good talk, but when it come time to drop your linen and quit grinning and pick up your rifle and do all of that, is America getting ready to go up in there like that? Because there are already people dead in the Ukraine. There's already chaos in the Ukraine. Putin's forces are already running up into Ukraine like a virgin on prom night. You know what I'm saying? So what? That, Grand Madam, that right there. What's the worst thing can happen if we don't act? The Ukraine will hate us, and we can't be no worse than we can't be considered no worse than what we are now. Our name is mud right now in the world theater. The only difference between what we've done in the past, and what we're doing now is Russia is not a country full of brown skinned people that we can just drop in on land and throw our weight around. I'm not saying don't do it. If you do it, you better be ready for the consequences that come with it. Because who else on this planet has a force that can rival China and Russia together? It's just like Grand Madam said, we're gonna take an L on that one. And that's mostly why I believe, because normally somebody, you tell somebody we putting sanctions on you, you bet not go over there, and they look at you and be like, we going. Not only are we going, we dancing when we do it. And go over there, and then you just sit there and go, we're gonna put more sanctions on you. You think Putin give a damn about them sanctions? He don't care about no sanctions. No one. Exactly, Grand Madam. Nobody. So I think as much bluster and talk that is being done, the United States still has to tread lightly, because we ain't ready for that smoke. I mean, I 6 years, 6 months, 21 days in this country's military. We ain't ready for that smoke. We aren't. Exactly, exactly, and they high stepping. I mm, I mm. And I hate to say things like I have a passport for just in case these kinds of things jump off, because I've been to third world countries, and I've seen how they live in third world countries. I've seen countries ravaged by war. Um, and what I think about all the time, I think of a book. I forget the author's name, but it's a book called 1 Second After. And in this book, it talks about a military force uh, from an Asian country detonating a nuclear warhead over the United States, particularly in the Midwest. And that warhead creates an EMP that knocks out all electronic devices and all cars that were made after 1983. Yeah, they got them long steps, these Diesel. They got them long steps. They take them long steps. They ain't picking them up, putting them down. They kicking them out there, kicking them. Yeah. But anyway, in this book, the country quickly deteriorated into the Walking Dead. You had like whole tribes of people running around, and they was cannibals, and you had folks that was just, kind of like loking up in groups and getting ready for the backlash of folks trying to attack. And it got crazy, man. It got real crazy. Folks was breaking in people's house in the middle of the night, killing them, and it was, oh my goodness. Did y'all cannot imagine the things that happen in third world countries when, things get desperate and things get, what I'm saying, who gonna come help us when we, when we have them issues and them problems? Who gonna come save us? Who gonna come to our rescue? Who gonna be our white knight? Just some stuff to think about. I mean, um empires don't last forever. As much as emperors, despots, tyrants want their empires to last, they don't, and they won't. Um, also thought about the fact that how do how should I feel about America as a black man in America? Yeah, D. Steezel, innocent folks have already been caught in the crossfire. Um, and before it's all said and done, there will be a lot more people dead. That's truly sad. But like Malcolm X said, is this a case of chickens coming home to roost for us as far as what we should be doing in that situation? Because see, my thing is, I had relatives that were in the military, and they served in the Vietnam War. Came home, nothing changed. Still got treated like black people get treated in America. Damn the fact that you was a veteran. Okay, then Desert Storm, which I served in, came back to America. I'm a veteran. I'm a decorated veteran. I done been overseas. Still treating me like you would treat any other black person. And it's like, so you want me to strap on, strap up, and go fight for you when you can't even treat me like a human being in civilian times. You letting cops kill people who look like me. I mean, I understand being a cop is a difficult job, but damn, impose some kind of rule or something. You know what I'm saying? Defunding the police don't mean get rid of them. It just mean demilitarize them. Dang, they don't need all of that. You feel what you feel. If you don't feel anything, then you don't feel anything. Yeah. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. But, you know, if, I get it for better or worse. It's our country. But what about the worst? When are we going to address the worst? This country has compensated every group of people it has wronged, except why? I've done the math. We won't, and it doesn't even have to be money. You don't have to, you don't have to give me money as reparations. Give me a bunch of land. Give me that 40 acres you said you was gonna give me. I could work wonders with 40 acres. I have a small town, 40 acres. I can have a small town on 40 acres. The mule's optional. Don't give me a mule. Give me a Tesla. Give me a Tesla truck. One of them one of them ones drive themselves. Them ones drive themselves seem to be a little faulty. The world is forever changing, y'all. The world is forever changing. And the things that go on in the world, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Well, it's been an hour, y'all. As much as I would love to sit here and continue to regale and chat and ruminate and do all of those things that we get to do up in alive, I'm so glad we had this time together. Couple of y'all know that song. Shoot, all of y'all probably know that song. Good old Carol Burnett. Love me some Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett's awesome. She was the natural evolution of Lucille Ball. Yeah. Well, actually, she was Lucille Ball's protege. So, yeah, she had to be funny. All right, y'all. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I want y'all to do for me. Tell me what you Yep, yep. Grand Madam Cabernet Show. Tell me what y'all would like to talk about in the coming weeks. If it's something other than what we've been talking about, because I don't want to just be boring y'all to death with the stuff I'm talking about. If y'all got a topic or a subject or a hero or a movie or anything pop culture related that you would like to discuss, you can throw it down here in the comments, or you could drop it in the comments in any one of my videos. Also, speaking of videos, I don't know if Theo said anything about it to you guys. Grand Madam, I have not seen a black Blue Falcon anywhere. If the name is Blue Falcon, I I have not seen a person of color that's a superhero named the Blue Falcon. I haven't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it was you saw it, but I have not been able to locate anything other than Blue Falcon Dynamite. Oh, that's what I was getting ready to say, D Diesel. Yes. We will we will be doing a super panel Sunday 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch it right here because I'm the one that's going to be what do you call it, narrating, navigating, or moderator. Yes, I will be the moderator. The participants will be Josh and Marcus from Back of the Bus, yo man Theo B, Kaiser Co Slevin, and myself. Yes, sir. This Sunday, I will put something out there, probably on my page, maybe tomorrow, to let everybody know. I'm going to send the link out to the guys tomorrow, and then they can spend the rest of the week, the other 2 days, hyping it and getting folks ready for it. Because we got a really nice format that we're going to follow, and I am excited about it. So y'all make sure Sunday, Grand Madam, at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, on my page. It'll be a big live. You'll be out of town. Are you gonna have your phone when you're out of town? You can still see it, man. I promise. But yeah, that's what we're doing Sunday. Like I said, I will put more information out there. I'll put some information out in the Council of Wakanda on the Facebook page. I'll put some information out on Instagram. There's already information that'll be floating around on Twitter. So, visiting kinfolk. Oh yeah. Yeah, I will put something, yes, on all the major platforms. There will be something on all the major platforms. Never fear. I never leave y'all out of nothing. All right. So, that being said, keep your ears peeled, keep your eyes open. We will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until we do, y'all be good. Be good to each other. Love y'all.